The 2026 World Cup will have a new format. There will be as many as 48 national teams taking part, and 32 of them will reach the final stage of the tournament. But what does this actually mean? It means that for us sports investors, if we work well on the various Antepost qualification odds, we could gain mathematical advantages that might turn into real money and winnings. So, what exactly are we going to look at together in this video? We will analyse all 12 groups as far as this first stage of the group phase of the World Cup is concerned. We will make a quick selection of the best national teams that could reach the final stage of the tournament, and at the end of this video I will show you my 3 anti-post suggestions, with the most important one being related to qualification, so whether a team qualifies or not. Then we will also look at the best picks for the team finishing first in each group. And finally, I will suggest 2 combinations, so first and second place for the best groups, at least according to my analysis. That said, if you don't know me yet, my name's Luigi, I'm a sports investor, and here on YouTube I create and manage medium and long-term investment strategies that use sporting events as their reference asset. With that out of the way, let's not waste any more time and let's start talking about this 2026 World Cup. Basically, in this edition, in this, let's say, tournament, there will be a new set of rules. There will be 48 national teams, and then, as usual, the top 2 from each group, from Group A to Group L, will automatically qualify. And then we'll have the other 8 qualifiers coming from the ranking of the best third place teams from each group. So basically, the 12 teams finishing last, plus the worst third place teams, according to a special ranking, which will have its own separate set of rules based on the style of the final ranking for the third place teams, will be eliminated. Then there'll be the classic knockout bracket like in tennis, which will take us from the round of 16 all the way to the grand final, which will be held in July. So, let's get to the point now and analyse all the different groups from Group A to Group L. Here we are with our summary slides. Let's start with Group A, which is made up of Mexico, the Czech Republic, South Korea and South Africa. We have Mexico, which is one of the 3 host countries, along with Canada and the United States, and in about 90% of cases, they should have an easy time getting through to the next round. In my opinion, Mexico could even go through as group winners, finishing top of Group A. Then we have the Czech Republic, who will probably have to settle for second place. They're one of the European national teams who could challenge Mexico for the top spot in Group A. And then there's also South Korea, an Asian national team, who will try to throw a spanner in the works for the other contenders, so for those who could win Group A. For me, the national side that will be eliminated will be South Africa. South Africa are clearly a step below when compared to Mexico, the Czech Republic and South Korea, so I do expect the African national team to be eliminated from Group A. As for Group B, we have Switzerland, Canada, Bosnia and Qatar. Here as well, Canada, as the host nation, will play their matches in their home stadiums. We will also have Switzerland, who performed very well in the European qualification phase, and then Bosnia, who knocked Italy out in the final playoffs, eliminating Italy in the penalty shootout. And then this Qatar, who are always a nation not to be underestimated, but in my opinion will finish last in this group. For me, Switzerland are clear favourites to win this Group B. Then we have Canada, who will certainly try to make their mark and make the most of playing at home, so watch out for Canada, not only as contenders for the top spot in Group B, but also as a possible dark horse in the latter stages of this competition. Bosnia will still try to secure a place among the best third place teams, and as I think Bosnia could win their match against Qatar and then perhaps even try to pick up a point, maybe a draw against Canada. Canada, in my view, would then go straight through to the final stage of the World Cup, and Bosnia would qualify as the best third place team with a solid 4 points. So that's what I think will happen in Group B. As for Group C, we have Brazil, Morocco, Scotland and Haiti. Brazil, for me, are the clear favourites to win this group and, let's say, are also among the front runners to win the World Cup, along with Spain, France and Argentina. But here too, we have a Brazil side that, in my opinion, could win all 3 matches with the arrival of Mr. Ancelotti on the Selecao bench. Then we have Morocco, who also performed very well in the last Africa Cup of Nations and have a truly respectable squad. For me, no one is taking second place away from them at the expense of Scotland. So I expect a final table with Brazil first, Morocco as runners-up, Scotland third, and Haiti, who will be the underdogs of this group, finishing last and going straight out, since in my view, Haiti won't win a single match. Then we have Group D with the other hosts, the United States, so USA, Turkey, Australia and Paraguay. I still expect the United States to be able to win the group. A serious contender for winning the group and progressing to the next round, in my opinion, is Vincenzo Montella's Turkey. Turkey, in any case, had an excellent qualifying campaign and also made it through to the playoff stage, the final phase. And then we have Australia, who are something of a third wheel, but in my view are well below the level of the United States and Turkey, and Paraguay, a South American side, who will try to make an impact and who always have a certain spirit. South American teams always have a patriotic spirit that will help them push on in this competition, but against the United States and Turkey, I just can't see how Paraguay could do well. So I think Paraguay will be the one to go out, perhaps fighting it out for 3rd or 4th place, and then we'll see the United States and Turkey qualifying for the final bracket. As for Group E, which is made up of Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast and Curacao, here again, Curacao will, I think, finish bottom of the group. Germany are the favourites in my opinion. There really isn't much to discuss. If we look at the squad and let's say the most recent matches played, Germany, who in the last World Cup edition were knocked out early in the group stage, finishing 3rd on equal points, then of course various criteria like goals scored and goals conceded came into play, which ultimately condemned the German national team to an early exit from the tournament. So I think they'll be keen to make amends this time and finish top of the group without any debate. Therefore, I expect Germany to finish 1st, Ecuador 2nd and Ivory Coast 3rd, who will still be fighting for that 3rd spot and a possible qualification through the special ranking for all the 3rd place teams from the various groups. Group F, with the Netherlands, Japan, Sweden and Tunisia. This is one of the most balanced groups and will also be one of the most exciting to watch, considering that the Netherlands are always an interesting national side with a truly competitive squad, but Japan are no pushovers either. For me, Japan are one of the national teams, if not the best, from the Asian continent to have qualified for this World Cup. Sweden have had their ups and downs but managed to qualify thanks to the playoff stage, with the last 2 matches played at European level, and as for Tunisia, in my opinion, they will finish a direct relegation, or rather eliminated, as I think they will finish 4th in the group. I would put the Netherlands first, Japan 2nd, Sweden 3rd, and Turkey and Tunisia 4th. Then we have Group G with Belgium, Egypt, Iran and New Zealand. Here, I still expect Belgium to be of a higher calibre in my opinion. They'll be vying for 1st place with Egypt, and then in my view, Iran will still try to fight for a respectable 3rd place, with New Zealand finishing last in their group. Group H with Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde. Here, I expect Spain to win all 3 matches by a clear margin, in my opinion. Uruguay will come just after them, in my opinion. I think Uruguay will get 6 points, at least 6 points, against Saudi Arabia and against Cape Verde. Saudi Arabia will still try to get a result against, indeed, Cape Verde, with the latter, in my view, finishing last in this Group H. Group 1 with France, Norway, Senegal and Iran. France, well, let's say the current runners-up, who reached the final against Argentina, the Argentina of Messi, who won the last edition 4 years ago. Norway, who qualified from Italy's group with, let's say, a wide margin over our national team. And then we have Senegal and Iran, who will play more of a supporting role in this group, with Senegal clearly favoured for third place, and Iran, in my opinion, finishing bottom of the table. Group J, Argentina, Austria, Algeria and Jordan. Messi's Argentina, in what I believe will be his last World Cup appearance, will finish top, and by some distance too. They'll take 9 points out of 9. Austria are slightly behind in second place, and then Algeria and Jordan. There could even be a surprise here, perhaps in terms of who finishes third in the group. For me, Algeria could even qualify as one of the best third place teams and progress in this competition, entering the final bracket and then facing one of the so-called much stronger nations on paper. Still, Algeria have a decent chance of making it through the group stage. Group K with Portugal, Colombia, Congo and Uzbekistan. We've got Cannavaro's Uzbekistan, who I think will finish bottom of the table because Portugal are clearly superior. They've got a competitive squad and the desire to win, and it's their first ever World Cup, so to speak. Colombia, let's say, come just after Portugal, and Congo will try to qualify as one of the best third place teams to progress in this competition. Group L, the last group, with England, Croatia, Ghana and Panama. For me, England, the Three Lions, are clearly the strongest and most capable, both in terms of their squad and their technical staff, as far as this Group L is concerned. So England first, Croatia immediately after in second place. Ghana are a possibly outsider, and then we've got Panama, who will finish fourth. Well, we've reached the most important part of the video, namely the part where I'm going to recommend my 3 moves to make specifically on the Antepost Eds market. There will be the qualify yes or no bet, which for me is the main one, the best one, the one that offers the most advantages from a mathematical and statistical point of view, and which I will personally be following for my annual investment strategy. Then we'll have 2 other anti-post suggestions, one on the group winner and one on the combination of teams to progress, so first and second place. That said, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you're interested in this kind of content, which is all about football and sports investments. Subscribing's really easy. You just need to click on the subscribe button that you'll find down here and also activate the notification bell, or perhaps interact with the card that's just appeared up here in the top right so you won't miss any of my upcoming video content about the World Cup, football and sports investments in general. That said, let's move on to the Antepost odds. The Antepost odds are summarised in these 3 slides. Let's start with slide number 1, which is about progressing to the next round. As for progressing to the next round, I selected these 7 national teams. We have Mexico, Switzerland, Uruguay, Portugal, Argentina, Brazil and Germany, which on Bet365 give a total odds of 51.53. So we're talking about a 53% net profit, let's say, to be made in just a few weeks, since these are my 7 best national teams that offer the right mathematical advantages to go ahead and place our investment for this first stage of the competition, which will be closely followed worldwide. As for the Antepost, the group winner, we have Argentina in Group A, which is priced at 1.2 times the stake. France is at 1.4 in Group 1, Group H with Spain also at 1.2 and Portugal in Group K at 1.4. The odds for this fourfold on Bet365 reach 2.82 times the stake, and we'll wrap up this video content with the Antepost group pairing. Here we have Group G, where Belgium and Egypt are both priced at evens. Here, either Belgium or Egypt must finish first, or vice versa. In any case, as long as these 2 nations qualify. Then we have Group L with England and Croatia at odds of 1.4. Both teams together make up total odds of 2.8 times your stake. Right, with that said, we've reached the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed this content and that the message I wanted to get across has come through and you've understood it. Anyway, Antepost odds are very complicated to manage during the season, but making an investment every now and then, so taking a portion of our seasonal capital and allocating it to this market, isn't entirely wrong. The important thing is to have an underlying strategy that can still cover any losses that might be generated by this type of market. As for the World Cup strategy, we'll be discussing it here on this YouTube channel and also in the various social media content you'll find linked below in the description. So if you'd like to follow me on the other, let's say social profiles, you just need to have a look below in the description and follow me on Instagram, Telegram and many others. You'll find everything below in the description. With that said, I'll leave you with these other two pieces of content at the end of this video. These images are for you to subscribe here to my channel, which is all about football and sports investments, and all that's left for me to do is say goodbye and see you in one of my next videos.